Okay, so I took the hoses off, that clamps off, all the wires are disconnected. I disconnected this by taking these two, that bolt off and those two bolts off. I'm just setting it up here. Everything else is loose. I can't seem to get that bolt loose with the impact. I'm going to try a breaker bar. I'm going to disconnect the steering column nut, which is right there. And then I'm going to lower it down, see if I can get to it, get access to it. Okay, so these last two bolts are obviously the hardest. They always are. I was able to get this breaker bar up in there, hooked to that bolt. I don't know if you can see it, but it's hooked right there. And break it loose. Now I'm going to impact it off. The next one is all the way up in there. Okay, after getting my socket stuck, because I put the impact on there to loosen it, I was able to get that nut off. There's the hole, and down there is, you can see it right there, that's the nut, last nut I need to get to, and I can drop this down and pull it out. Well, here's where we come to a problem. That nut, I don't know if you can see it, it is right there. Right there is really tight. Can't get my breaker bar up in there. That's how tight it is. I don't even have enough room for this. Okay, I got my bolt loose, but my breaker bar got stuck up in there. See how it's jammed? So I have to go get me a pry bar on my Harley to get that out. I'll be back. Okay, I was able to get my breaker bar out. Now I'm going to try and get to that nut from down there. And I'm going to use this handy little tool to try and get it out. Pretty neat little tool. Okay, I got that bolt out. As you can see, buried up in there somewhere. Like, right there, I think. Yeah, that is the bolt hole right there. There's the bolt hole, and then the other bolt hole. So now I just got to get the bottom ones, and it looks like it's going to come off. Okay, so I got all the bolts out on top. Now I'm going to work on these. I don't know if you can see them, where are they? Right there. Actually have it jacked up because I don't want it just falling out on me if I get it loose. So I want to try to keep it as tight in there as possible. I'm going to go ahead and pull those bottom bolts and see how it goes. Okay, I took out that bolt, and that bolt right there. I don't know if you can see that. And this one is actually part of the transmission, so I'm going to leave that one in. And this motor mount is attached, so I'm going to have to take off, I don't know if you can see my finger here, this bolt and this bolt here. Okay, as you can see, the transmission is starting to crack off. Right there is my axle. It's on a brace, like I explained in the first video. There's my other axle. I took off the front motor mount that was attached to the transmission. It was right here. You can see it missing. So I believe I'm ready to pull this thing. I'm just going to try to wiggle this axle out first and keep the other one on, because it should slide right off. So here we go. Okay, I got two jacks on here, one on the subframe and one on the bottom of the transmission. I'm going to go ahead and drop the jack with the subframe and hopefully have enough room to pull this transmission loose and drag it out of there. Okay, here we go. Okay, now for the fun part. My dipstick, my bracket, my two hoses are all disconnected from my new used transmission that I bought off eBay, and it's going up in there. How to get it up there? If I use a jack, put a piece of wood there and there, get the jacks braced underneath it. Right now it's on a little dolly. I'm going to drop down that subframe again. Right now I got it jacked up with that jack. Got my engine being held up with that other jack. I wish I could videotape this, but it's only me, so here we go. I'm gonna rock my transmission so that this right here and the oil pan are laying on top of this block of wood, kind of like that. Wouldn't be a bad idea to strap that with just a ratchet strap, and then that way I don't damage the oil pan, and I can center the jack to where it will balance the transmission. I got my pieces of wood in place, and I'll come back. Okay, so my little board jack trick didn't work. I ended up having to get the engine puller, strap it all around the transmission so it'll hold it up there, and I can motivate it in there. Alright, after lots of readjusting of the straps, that's how close I am right now. I have, the transmission is possible without pulling the motor. Believe it or not. Okay, I'll come back to you when I get this sucker mounted. Okay, so I got the pulley, some engine straps. I can adjust it by cranking this one to move it, shift it right to left. I can lift it with the jack by pulling it up. Got it extended to the full amount. Now I just got to stab on the rod without looking. I can't see anything. I can kind of look through the starter hole and see a little. I guess that's the way to do it. Look through the starter hole. You see your hole there. You see your rod there. You can kind of see it. It's right there. Okay. Here we go.